and he drove his motorcycle very fast. Drove a big Chapala with a gang color jacket and ran down citizens for laughs. He had an old lady named Petula who packed an automatic 45 gun. They had just come up from California where they'd shot 6 cops for fun. Jake, he thought it was the best there was. He's down the interstate he saw till the day he tangled with the county sheriff who they all call 104. It was late on a Thursday evening, and Jake, he was feeling kind of mean, cause he'd just run out of his favorite drug, you know, the one called amphetamine. So we sauntered up to Petula, and he said, say, baby, let's split. There's a little gas station on down the road that might be fun to hit. So they drove up to the station, and they both jumped off of Jake's ride. They were up to derision at Jake's decision as they both saw to the inside. The attendant, he was an old man, and you know he didn't think it very funny. When Petula pulled out that great big gun, said, honey, give me all your money. Well, the old man opened up the cash drawer, and Jake grabbed the money and ran. With Petula out the door to the big Chapala that was parked on the center kickstand. Then they headed out for the 4-lane, and they thought it was lots of fun. With Jake on his hog, with Petula the dog, with the automatic 45 gun. He thought it was the best there was. He's down the interstate he saw till the day he tangled with the county sheriff who they all call 104. Didn't think it very humorous, and you know he didn't like to get sassed, cause just that morning he had a cup of coffee with a cop named Pendergrast. But the old man had a lot of sense, and he knew just exactly what to do. He dropped a dime in the phone till he got the dial tone, and he talked to operator 42. Operator 42, she was the best, and she gave out the description of Jake the maggot with the gang color jacket and Petula with the 45 gun. Now it just so happens that Jake, he was headed for 522, where 104 was popped in the shade, thinking, baby, I'm waiting for you. Jake laughed and thought he had it made, but you should have seen the look in his eyes. When outside Monroe on 522, you know he got one hell of a surprise. Cause up ahead on the roadway, with a shotgun looking down the ball, was Sergeant Nichols with his finger on the trigger in the infamous 104. It was then the chase that had started, but Jake didn't think it very fun when he felt the blast at the spokes of his wheels from 104 shotgun. Chase got into full gear as they went over valley and rise. They were over ditches and barbed wire fences, and Jake kept hitting cow pies. Then just ahead on the I-5 junction where the back roads ended in a hump, Chase was...
Night Dreams Talk Radio, After Dark, wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com, and thank you.
Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
I'm James Creechbaum with the Paranormal and World Changes News. Well, swamp gas could be a sign of alien life after all. Now, a new study has found that phosphine, the toxic chemical that makes swamp gas so nasty, is a definite indicator of anaerobic life that doesn't use oxygen, and could be one of the best signs of extraterrestrial life. It all comes full circle eventually. Yellowstone tourist files a complaint about untrained grizzly bears. Yes, a tourist in Yellowstone National Park filled out a Zenterra Parks and Resorts visitor comment sheet to complain that the bears in the park are not trained to appear for park visitors. What sort of a world are we living in where people are not only self-entitled, but so deeply disconnected from the natural world around them? The ghost of a mysterious girl appeared in a photo. Now, during a talk with her mother, through Snapchat, a mobile application, when a friend suddenly noticed a ghostly head behind her daughter, very similar to a girl with long blonde hair. And then the friend immediately sent a photo with the question, "Who is it behind you?" Needless to say, they were both very shooken. Also, a man who fears being abducted by aliens and having his brain swiped, he puts foam rollers on the door, claiming that when they come get him, they don't know they're there, and the rollers will be knocked over, and he will know. A miracle man rescued from 5 hours in an avalanche. Now, this man, he was a skier who was buried for 5 hours, has been rescued in what has been described as a Christmas miracle. The 26-year-old who had gone skiing in the Terrain mountain range became the subject of a major search and rescue operation when he failed to return home. Next, vaping may be more dangerous than cigarettes. Some people take up vaping or inhaling vapor from electronic cigarettes to avoid the health hazards of smoking cigarettes made with tobacco. But when it comes to your heart health, a pair of recent studies show that e-cigarettes are just as dangerous and possibly are even more dangerous than traditional cigarettes. Next news break, top of the hour.
You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And here I am, and I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you the weather here is cold up here in the Northwest, down at the compound, down at the harbor, down underground in our compound tonight on Night Dreams Talk Radio. Tonight, we got two great guests. One is Tobe, I believe, Johnson. The other one is Darrel Adams. And I'm going to get a hold of Darrel here and Tobe in a minute. Now, James, are you with me?
Yes, I am with you. How are you doing, Gary?
I am doing good. So let's get a hold of our guest here, and I'll give him a call right now. I tell you what, we lost our heat in the front room, and it is chilly as you wouldn't believe.
It was like 50-some degrees here today. Beautiful.
Well, do we have our guest on the line?
Yes, you do.
Okay, well, I'm trying to get the volume adjusted there. And again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. I heard it said one way, and I heard it said the other way. What way do you want to be called?
Oh, I just go by Tobe Johnson.
Okay, well, Tobe, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Well, sure. I got started in the... just so you know, there's a little bit of a delay with us talking right now, so I'm hearing my voice on top of the sound here, so hopefully that will cut out. I don't hear it now. Good. Okay, there it went. Perfect. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you great.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I grew up in Oregon in the Pacific Northwest, the Willamette Valley in particular, outside of Eugene, Oregon, and I was constantly trying to find ways to be an outdoorsman, so I kind of ingratiated myself growing up with a single mother to people that would take me on hikes, and joined the service for a little bit, took me up here to the northern side of Washington, where I was able to really explore in the Mount Baker wilderness. And from really that point in probably 1993 onwards, I really found myself just loving exploring. And one of the greater mysteries, of course, commercially wise, is looking into these cryptid mysteries. And so I started to look into the biggest one of all back in probably 2000 time frame, and that would have been the Bigfoot question. And ended up having a single child, my son. And one day when we were on a walk near the town of Thurston, Oregon, he found what looked like a pretty compelling single track in the icy mud heading into the blackberry brambles. And as soon as he found that track, as me being a new dad and seeing a child's wonder and my eyes and wonder kind of like my child, we both just kind of really sunk down the rabbit hole from that moment forward. So that probably would have been, 2007 time frame. And that's really when things started for me, Gary.
Oh, interesting. Now, we also have Darrel Adams on. And I guess Darrel is a good friend of yours. Darrel, how you doing tonight on Night Dreams?
Doing good, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Well, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Now, I have to warn you, we're on 22 radio stations, we're on the internet, and who knows where else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was...
I'm trying to make you nervous.
I was raised... What was that?
I was joking. I said I was just trying to make you a little nervous.
Oh, that's all right. I moved up to Oregon in 2011 and retired up here. I was a contractor and worked for a big underground union company in California. And I retired up here to go hunting and fishing and stuff. So my brother, he lives out in Oklahoma. He was into Bigfoot for a long time. Even when we were kids, when we were scouts, he wrote Roger Patterson a letter, and actually Roger Patterson wrote him back personal letter. My brother, we were probably about 12 and 8, and my brother wanted to go look for Bigfoot with Roger Patterson when they had the sighting in Willow Creek, but he's been into it forever. So when I got up here and retired from working, I had time on my hands, so he kept coaxing me, hey, when you're out there hunting and fishing and around out in the woods, start looking for this stuff, all these little tree structures and footprints and all that. And so I'm out here in the middle of nowhere hunting and stuff, and I start finding this stuff. So I start taking pictures with my cell phone and stuff while I'm out. And then I end up going to this thing called Beachfoot. It's here in Oregon once a year, put on by Todd Neese. And I met Ron Moorhead there, and he told me, hey, there's a guy up in Eugene. It's not far from where you live in Cottage Grove, named Tobe Johnson, and get a hold of him. He'd like to go, you guys can go hook up and go out in the woods looking for Bigfoot. So I did, and that's how I met Tobe about 5 years ago now, 4, something like that.
Now,
so it just kind of snowballed from there.
Now, have you guys either one of you seen a Bigfoot?
The stuff that we've seen, yeah. I've seen something that could have been one running so fast that I couldn't tell. It was upright, but you get about 3 or 4 seconds to see these things. They go so fast.
They do run fast. Now, I was mentioning to Darrel that I did see a Bigfoot back in the early 2000s up in the Canadian Rockies. We went to an old Japanese internment camp that long has been abandoned, and it was built around a silver mine on a base of a mountain. And me and my friend, who was a medical doctor, we had to hike in about 2 miles, and it's no towns around there. There's nothing. That's why they built that internment camp to hold the Japanese prisoners during World War II. And we weren't looking for anything other than taking pictures of, ghost towns, old buildings, and things like that. Now, again, being American citizens, you can't take any firearms into Canada. We were dumb. We didn't even have bear spray. Didn't even think about it. And we, got out there, hiked in the 2 miles. And my friend goes, look at that huge bear across the creek. And so I raised my camera, which had a good-sized telephoto, and I realized really fast that wasn't a bear. And about the same time I saw it seen us. And I'll tell you what, I served in Nam